Welcome to my day in Hanbok. Welcome to today's video. Today you will see me frolicking around the Gyeongbokgung Palace in a traditional Korean outfit, the Hanbok. If you're new here, this awkward bean is me, we. This video series is from spring of 2025 when I went on a 3-week-long, almost solo trip to 5 cities in South Korea. Seoul, Gyeongju, Busan, Suncheon and Jeonju. Today we are going to start our day at 9 a.m. and as much as I love travel planning, I had no idea where to get my hanbok. So we walked around towards the palace and we found one place which would take us without reservations. We rented our hanboks for 8 hours and including everything the cost came to about this much. This included the hanbok, the hairdo, hair jewelry, a poncho because it was very cold outside and a complimentary pouch to keep our phones. I chose a pastel royal queen outfit from Mr. Queen and without missing a beat we headed out to the palace. In these 8 hours of hanbok, we ended up going to the Gyeongbokgung Palace, the Bukchon Folk Village and the Chogesa Temple. I know most people rent it for 2 hours, but it was absolutely worth it for us. First up, we headed out to the Gwangwamun gate, which has an early morning guard changing ceremony. I believe they also do a 2 p.m. It's 20 minutes long, it's in 4 languages, Korean, English, Chinese and Japanese.
의식의 순서와 신호를
So if you speak any of these 4 languages, you will know what's going on. So this guard changing ceremony that we see today is actually a reenactment from the Joseon period. It was actually quite fun to see the outfits, the flags, the music. It was like an immersive experience or a walkthrough of an intangible cultural heritage.
공부하고 기수가 깃발로 신호를 합니다.
Next up, while we were still feeling very pretty in our hanboks, we went out and did some photoshoot. So a reason why a lot of people choose to wear hanboks in Gyeongbokgung is because A, it looks very pretty, B, this is the only place where a lot of people are doing this, so you don't feel very silly. And if you're wearing a traditional hanbok, then they waive the fees for royal palaces. And even though the admission fees is only 3,000 won, this was absolutely worth it to me because where else will you get this experience? And in Gyeongbokgung, you will not feel out of place because a lot of people are wearing hanboks. And so when you enter the next gate, the first thing that you'll see is the Geunjeongjeon hall. This massive, huge structure is actually completely made out of wood. I mean, nothing truly prepares you for how huge this hall is. It's just massive. So this is the inside of the Geunjeongjeon hall. And so the red seat, which is called Ojwa, is where the king sat for his court. That's his royal throne. And behind him is the Ilwol Obongdo, which I talked a little bit about in this video. This is a painting that you will see in a lot of places in Korea. It's an artwork on a traditional Korean folding screen, which would always be placed behind the king during the Joseon era. The sun and the moon represent the king and the queen, and there are 5 peaks. There are various versions of it too. Let me know if you have ever seen this painting placed behind a king in a historical K-drama. Also, the roof is beautiful and intricate and colored vibrantly as well. Look at my beautiful hairpiece! We are now at the Gyeonghyeru pavilion. This is where the king would host banquets for the envoys, which I'm assuming would come from Qing dynasty. This is a 2-story wooden structure, and I kept on imagining how beautiful it would be to go in the pond on a boat in the middle of the night. Sure, it would be super windy, but it would be so beautiful. Okay, so everything from this point on is sort of mushed together in my memory. The rest of the palace feels like a maze, and I have a feeling intentionally so. There's no single corridor that connects everything, it's just one place after the other. And because everything was so similar architecture wise, I do regret not taking the audio guide. That would have definitely elevated my experience much more. This is the Gyeonjeon, which is essentially where the king would stay. And so, if Geunjeongjeon was his public appearance, then Gyeonjeon is where his royal court would visit him between these appearances. King Sejong also had Gyeonjeon built for his wife for privacy purposes, but I personally would not be able to point it out on a map to you. We're now at the Gyeongjong. This quarter was built for the Dowager Queen, I guess the king's mother. And this is also actually a pretty big place. I wonder if dowagers technically outrank the queen. And after enjoying these quarters, from here on out, you can enjoy the Folk Museum of Korea. The Folk Museum is an interesting space where you get to learn more about Korean craft, art, and clothing. Essentially, lifestyle during Joseon period.
I'm the rat here.
This board says no selfie sticks, no tripods, and no food. But at the desk, they also said no videography. But hey, there are no rules against pictures. The architecture of the museum itself is also inspired by traditional Korean architectural elements. There were also a few hanboks, traditional Korean houses outside, and you could go inside and visit. And because we were wearing hanboks, we were simply allowed to walk inside the palace again. But if you weren't, then you wouldn't be able to enter the palace again without tickets. And like I said earlier, because everything felt like a maze, we tried to retrace our steps back so as to not get confused and or lost. And so that led us to the souvenir shop. This was pretty early on in my vacation, so I was kind of skeptical of buying gifts now and then having to lug around the whole vacation. So I didn't buy anything. But the souvenir shop exists in case you want to go there. Look how cool it is to see modern and traditional juxtaposed in the city.
We're done.
And now it's time for us to head out and do other things. Right outside of the Gwangwamun gate is the King Sejong statue. What you can see here is the Hangul Museum, which is the Korean Alphabet Museum. But we spent the entire day just visiting other places, so by the time we reached here, the museum was already closed. But I think it would have been fun. This is the statue of Sejong Taewang, who created the Korean alphabet from scratch. And so he made education accessible to common people in a time when it was elite to be literate. The next statue in this plaza is Admiral Lee Sun-jin, who was a respected Korean admiral during Joseon period. He's known for his victories against the Japanese during the Imjin War in the Joseon time period. So on this day, we actually visited two more places, the Bukjeon village and the Chogesa temple. But this video is already too long and I don't want to bore you with my historical blabberings any further. If you watched this video till the end, please hit like. And if you want to watch the next video, please hit subscribe so that it shows up in your feed when I upload it. And I will see you in the next one. Toodles!
Super tan. That's fine.